Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Night Marsh. We're glad to have you all here. Um, as Director David Ford would say, you're not really at the Marsh. The Marsh has come into your home now in this era of Zoom theater. Speaking of David, by the way, this is tonight's a little unusual here at the Marsh. We're actually doing two shows simultaneously streaming. One is David Ford's performance class. So if you are here for that, I've put the link to that in the chat, or you can go to our website, themarsh.org, and click on the David Ford class icon, which will take you to that class. But you can't go wrong by being here tonight. Our Monday Night Works in Progress series, we've got three great performances here for you. And in this era of Zoom performance, forgive me if I'm looking a little distracted since I'm also running tech. That's just the way we do theater here. So we've got something going just about every night here on the Marsh stream. And although this week, with it being a holiday week, we're running a little short, but we have tomorrow night, we have Joshua Raoul Brody, the great theater musician. I think he's performed at just about every theater in San Francisco in the time that I've known him. He's going to be doing holiday songs tomorrow night, Tuesday at 7:30. We'll also be doing, as I mentioned, another performance of works from David Ford's performance class, and that'll also be at 7:30. Links to all these things are on our website. Wednesday night, our Solo Arts Heal series will be, the guest will be Kevin Spencer. He's a magician who has used sleight of hand as a therapeutic tool very successfully for many years. So he'll be the guest of host Gail Schickley on Wednesday night at 7:30. Then we're going to be dark. We're not going to be live streaming over the weekend until Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. It'll be the Clown Prince of Foolery here in the Bay Area, Unique Derek, doing his family show, Foolala Home for the Holidays. That's Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then if you're looking for some March stuff, we've got tons of stuff, dozens and dozens of shows on our YouTube channel that you can watch. And so all these links are on our website. So thanks. All our shows are free. If you can support us by donating to our tip jar, there's a link in the chat. Welcome to everyone who's watching on YouTube Live. And I have just talked for too long, so I'm gonna hand it over to our first performer, Jen SluMac. She is an author and a performer, and it's her first time here on Monday Night Marsh. And she is going to be performing her piece, Looking for Stage Time. And in this, she will be taking you to the long ago nostalgic days, November 2nd, 2004. So take it away, Jen.
Hey, I just saw you inside. Was that your husband? Yeah, it was good to meet him. Right on. Where'd he go? Well, have a seat. Have a seat, man. I'll tell you about my night. It's been a crazy night. No, seriously. So no, I haven't played here yet. I'm trying to get in there now. So here's what happened, right? I came up here tonight. I got a buddy from Chicago who gave me a name to call and a number to call. So I called this guy up and I asked him, how do I get into the Laugh Factory, right? How do I get in there, man? I got to get some stage time in the Laugh Factory because I'm building out my resume. I've only been here for 4 months. So I call this guy up and he says, hey, Jen, check it out. I can't get you on the show tonight, but if you go there, I'll put your name at the door. +2, bring a friend. And when you get inside, go and, meet Ben. He hosts the show and he'll get you hooked up. He'll take care of you. I was like, all right, man, thanks a lot. So that's why I came out tonight. I mean, I've been at work all day. I work all day during the week and I'm exhausted, but I got off of work and I went home and I took a shower and I had a big cup of coffee and I put on my Hollywood costume and my Hollywood attitude and I drove over the hill because I promised myself, man, I promised myself that I was gonna put 4 nights a week in, 4 nights a week. I mean, no matter how tired I am, no matter how broke I get, I'm not out here to work a day job, right? I'm out here to get on stage and to get discovered, frankly. So I get here tonight, 8 o'clock for the 9 o'clock show. And I get up to the door, and the guy at the door is super cool. Brother Woods? Yeah, he's awesome. Well, I'd heard about him, but I just met him tonight. And when I showed him my ID, he said, "Oh, okay, lady, we got you here for, 2+, or you +2. And he said, "Where's your +2?" I'm not going to admit that I don't know anybody out here yet, right? I mean, I wish I'd have run into you earlier. So he goes, who's your +2? And I said, "It's just me, man. Me, myself, and I." And I got a kick out of me. He didn't laugh, but that's okay. So he told me to go ahead in to where the comics hang out, which is just a mind fuck, right? Because I'm at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, California. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it on TV. All of the greats have played here. I mean, like, this place is iconic, man. Like Phyllis Diller and Red Fox just like, right? And he says, "Go ahead inside to where the comics hang out." Anyway, so I said, "All right, man, but I got to ask you a favor. Can you describe Ben to me? I'm supposed to go in there and I'm supposed to talk to Ben about getting on the show." So he goes, "Yeah." He said, "I'll do you one better." And he puts his arm around me and he walks me out into the area. And, there's just a few people piling in already. And he points over, he goes, you see that white guy over there with all the girls dripping all over him?" "Oh, yeah, I see him." He goes, "That's who you need to talk to." I'm like, fantastic. Right? Here we go. Let's play the Hollywood game. So I went in, right? And I go in and I see Ben, and he's got just females draped all over him. And that's not disgusting enough, but he doesn't even look like he's bathed today. You know what I mean? He's like 25 years old, and he looks like he just rolled out of his bachelor pad and on down to the Laugh Factory because he had a show to host, right? He just had to go and host a show real quick. He can just do that, I guess. So here he is looking like a goofball, and he's got all these women hanging on him. And I'm just like, whatever. I said, "Ben, hey, I'm Jen." And I introduced myself to him and told him, I got his name from Bryce and I wanted to be on a show. And he's like, "Man, I'm so glad that you could make it. Why don't you go ahead upstairs where the rest of the comedians are? And I'll be up in a little bit and I'll tell you everything you need to know." Just like that. I was like, all right. So I went upstairs and I get into the area where the comics hang out. And I'm like, what? Like, honest to God, it's wall-to-wall comics, like people I've seen on TV and in living color. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, they're going to find me out and kick me out. You know what I mean? I'm nobody. But I look around, there's no seats. And I was just like, okay, I got to be cool. So I start like slithering past, so people, whatever. And I don't know his real name, but Urkel. Yeah, he didn't have his suspenders on tonight though. He looked really good, man. He's like a handsome dude, and he got up and gave me a seat. He motioned me over to his seat because there was no more seats. So I thought that was really cool. So I sat up there and I'm hanging out, and the night's going on, and I'm tired, and I'm hanging out with people that I'm really impressed with, and I'm watching the guys who are actually on stage. And I'm looking for Ben, and Ben is nowhere to be found. So I go downstairs and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Ben, man, I don't mean to bug you, but I really came out tonight so I could find out how to get on your show. Like, what do I need to do, man? Do you need like a tape? Do you need a tape? Do you need a, I'll be at the Improv tomorrow night. I can put your name at the door. Want to come and see me perform? That'd be cool." And he's just like, "Why don't you just relax and go and have a drink? And I'll be up in a little bit and I'll tell you everything you need to know." And I said, "All right, well, tell you what, I don't drink, but I will go back upstairs and I'll see you after the show. Cool?" He was like, "Cool." So I go back up and, I got to endure these comics. Like there's a guy on stage who takes his entire set and he does nothing but make fun of the women that guys in the audience brought to the show. Like that's how we spent 10 minutes on stage. I'm here begging for 3, right? Anyway, welcome to Hollywood. So the show's over and, I've had to turn down a few shots from really impressive people. I think I said that already. Go downstairs. Ben's nowhere to be found. He's nowhere to be found. I can't see nowhere. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? I just sat here for 5 hours, 4 hours watching the show so I could find out how to get on the show. So I go up to somebody who works there and I asked if they knew where he was. They said, yeah, he goes to North, which is a bar, I guess, around the back of the Laugh Factory. So, all right. Well, that's what I said, right? I don't drink. I don't want to go to the bar, but I didn't come here to hang out all night, right? Like I would have rather been at home sleeping by now, but since I'm out, I can't go without getting a slot on his show, right? So I got to follow through. So I whip back my attitude, back into Hollywood mode, and I go into the back alley and down these stairs and around the way. And by the time I get to the door, I think I'm going to need a secret handshake or something, right? But I go in and first thing I see is the bar. And the bartender comes over and slaps a napkin down on the table and he said, what can I get you, sweetheart? And I said, Ben, you can get me Ben. I'm not here to drink. I'm here to talk to Ben. And he goes, oh, yeah, he's right over there. And he points to Ben, who's sitting in the corner. And he's got chicks on both sides of him. I don't understand it. This guy is like a parody of being male in Hollywood. It's ridiculous. But I play the game. And I catch his eye and I said, Ben, I act like I'm happy to see him, right? And I go over and he motions 2 of the girls out of his booth and they get up and they walk away and he pats the seat next to him and he invites me over and he goes, hey, Jen, I'm glad that you could make it. And I said, yeah, man, it's good to see you. Listen, he goes, can I get you a drink? I said, Ben. He goes, oh, yeah. Okay, all right. So what's up? What can I do for you? I said, bro, what do I need to do to get on your show? I'm trying to get on the stage at the Laugh Factory, and I heard that you're the guy to talk to. And he goes, yeah, I heard you say that. Right then, 2 of his buddies come over and sit right next to me. Now I'm trapped, right? And he goes, I heard you ask me that earlier. He goes, I don't understand what you're asking. And now he's got his complete focus on me, and it's because I'm trapped, I'm sure of it. And I said, what's the confusion? He goes, if you want to be on the show on Tuesday nights, you got to do what everybody else does. And I said, I'd love to, man. What's that? And he said, Jen, to get on the open mic show, you got to show up at the Laugh Factory at 6:30 and line up outside like everybody else. And when the door opens, you got to hope that you get in. And if you get in, you got to hope you get on the list. And if you get on the list and get some time on stage, you got to hope that you make somebody laugh. And then you got to hope that when I get there later on about 8 o'clock, somebody lets me know that they think you deserve a spot on my show. What's so hard about that? I said, bro, you couldn't have told me that 4 hours ago? And I said, excuse me. And I told the guys to get up, man. They got up and I'm walking out. I'm totally irritated, right? And he's like, hey, Jen, let me buy you a drink. And I turned around and he goes, oh, that's right. You don't drink. Well, I don't know what you're doing in the bar then. Matter of fact, why don't you leave and go line up outside like the rest of the people? How about that? I wanted to kick him in the teeth, man. I was thinking, man, Ben, you are not that cute, bro. You are not that fucking cute. But I took a deep breath and I managed to leave with some couth, right? I walked out and up the stairs and out to the back behind the bar. And something came over me, man. I got pissed and I screamed at the top of my lungs and I kicked the dumpster like 3 times, man. I might have busted my foot. But I was pissed, man. I'm like, why do I have to frickin' beg this guy? I'm down here kissing this guy's ass all night and I still don't have time. on stage, right? But then I got mad at my alcoholism, right? Because I'm a drunk who doesn't drink. I'm not somebody who doesn't drink because it looks better in my complexion. I don't drink because I can't drink, right? So I get pissed off and I'm thinking, man, if I wasn't a sober 30-year-old drunk out here in LA trying to schmooze with a cup of coffee in my hand, maybe I could have sat down there with him long enough to schmooze and let him flirt and impressed him enough to, you know, get on his good side and work on some stage time next week. So I get pissed, you know, it pisses me off. It's not fair, man. You know, he's a dick and I can't schmooze. So anyway, I'm exhausted and I figured, you know, this night, I gotta chalk this night up. But hold on. Is that your husband? Okay, hold on. You gotta hear the end of this. Okay, just a minute. So then I'm all upset, right? And I lit a cigarette and I went around the corner and then I hear, "Hey, little lady, what are you still doing here?" And I look over, guess who it is? Yeah, Brother Woods, the doorman. He comes over and he was going to his car. He's like, "What are you doing, sweetheart? The club is closed." And I said, "Yeah, I know, man." He goes, "What are you still doing here?" I said, "Man, I've been kissing this yokel's butt all night trying to get some stage time next week." And he goes, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "And how did that go?" I said, "Man, I don't even want to talk about it." And he said, "Well, you know, it's all about who you know." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's why when Bryce told me to come up here and meet Ben, I thought I was going to be good." He goes, "Sweetheart, do you know that I work at the Laugh Factory?" I swear to God, he said that to me. I was like, "Yeah, man, I heard about that." Right? And he said, "Have you ever heard of chocolate sundaes?" Yes, as a matter of fact, Brother Woods, I have, because I was headed there Sunday. I said, "That's the one that Pookie runs, right? And Chris is the host." He goes, "Yeah, that's right." And I said, "Okay." He said, "This is what I want you to do. I want you to come by Sunday and I want you to come see Brother Woods. I want you to come by and see Brother Woods because I'm going to introduce you to those two guys. And these are good dudes, man. They're good dudes. And what I'm going to do for you, listen, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out here in Hollywood saturating the market, right? Everybody from Ohio to Maine who was ever told they were funny is out here trying to get a gig. But not everybody out here. I see you, girl. Not everybody else is out here at 1:30 in the morning trying to get booked. So this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to introduce you to some guys. And I'm going to tell them that I vouch for you and I want you to get on that stage. How do you feel about that? I said, "Man, why would you do that for me?" He goes, "Because I see you, kid. And it matters who you know." And he said, "This is the deal. I'm going to get you up on that stage. But what you do with that stage time, that's up to you. I can't help you be good. All I ask is that you don't make a fool out of me. Is that a deal?" I said, "Yes, sir. That's a deal." And he winked at me and he walked off. So here I am. I didn't drink. I got booked, and I didn't have to do anything stupid. I'll tell you what, it's a good night.
Thank you, Jen. Oh my gosh. Any of you who are performers recognize so much of that. I recognize so much of that there. Thank you for sharing that. And for everyone in the audience, we're going to make some time for some Q&A with the performers at the end. So hang out. But we're going to move on to our next performer here, who's also a first-time Monday Night Marsh performer, but he's been around. He's a teacher and storyteller. He's done his work everywhere from Oxford to Sydney, which for me being here in Northern California, I feel lucky. We're right smack here in the middle, and we've got him tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to our next performer, Johnathan Young, and his piece, "The Most Wonderful Time of the Year." All yours, Johnathan.
Everyone in our big family knows it's time to prepare for Christmas when the big box comes down from the closet shelf. It's all packed in tissue paper. the little town, tiny houses and a church, each sparkling with glitter. We carefully insert a small bulb from the string of lights into every miniature structure and arrange the village on the mantle. It's surrounded with cotton snow, and that's probably all the snow we'll see this year. Oh, we can glimpse a little white on the distant mountains, but we do not live in snow country. But here, on our mantle, is a perfect little winter scene. Each small house, the very image of warmth and joy. Next is the big project of sending off Christmas cards. Mommy addresses the envelopes, Daddy writes notes. Some will go off to relatives who live a long way away. My big sister puts on the stamps, and at 6 years old, my job is to put the cards in the envelopes. I am very careful not to crumple cards or envelopes, worrying, as always, about suddenly getting hit. My father believes if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. My parents bicker as we decorate the tree with tinsel reused from last year. Finally, the angel ascends to the tall fir tree. The ornament is so big, the top of the tree leans over to one side. As for the outdoors, Father is irritated about the task of putting up Christmas lights yet again. This year, he comes home with super heavy-duty strings of bulbs. I hold the box of sturdy outdoor brass hooks and hand them up to him as he twists each one securely into the eaves. The colorful lights are now permanent. He is a man who likes to have things under control. This is the last time he ever has to fool with putting up holiday lights. He will be pleased with this bit of order for many years to come. By Christmas Eve, everybody is weary. Both parents are short-tempered on easy days, and today has not been an easy day. It's amazing how many things a child can do wrong when a parent is tired. Like most years, I have been wondering if there would be much in the way of presents for me. I can't exactly be described as a good boy. All year, there are many reminders of what a disappointment I really am. There are many spankings with sticks kept in each room of the house so Father can grab one quickly when I am bad. It is seldom clear exactly what line I have crossed. My offenses are too many to track. Still, on this night, I go to sleep hoping against hope to slip through some kind of seasonal loophole. On Christmas morning, the pile of presents is even more enormous than ever. The most wonderful item is a rideable pedal tractor. I stare across the living room at the object of my desire, thinking it couldn't possibly be for me. It's too good. Finally, I go over and look at the tag. It actually is for me. This is hard to absorb. The tractor is the deluxe model. It's tall, angular, entirely made of steel, like a real piece of heavy equipment. It has a front loader bucket with a lever for picking up loose gravel and dumping it somewhere else. There's a trailer for my 3-year-old sister to ride in the back. It is a wonder beyond my wildest dreams. I recover from the surprise and get to the serious business of inspecting the yard and alley on my very own vehicle. Meanwhile, my mother is laboring fiercely over the big dinner. There is much to do, and she flies into the task with a fury. Mommy's vision of perfection is some Norman Rockwell picture of a big family around a table of plenty. We are going to be the very image of a happy family or die trying. Now, my mother has never been a good cook. She grew up in hard times. Her father died when she was 2. The rooming house her mother ran in order to survive involved meals of minimal quality. Maybe having a grand holiday meal now is going to make up for all those tough years. I don't know. The afternoon is an invasion of extended family, terse grandmothers, jovial uncles, overbearing aunts, and an assortment of energetic cousins arrive in full force. Those frenzied cousins quickly hijack my trailer and drive it around rather roughly. Finally, dinner comes out. Saying grace goes on and on, keeping us all waiting. When Daddy prays, there's a sense that our connection with God is better than anyone else on the planet. Then we eat. The food isn't great, but there's lots of it. Eating way too much eases my little body into a welcomed fog of numbness. After an abundance of gossip and complaining about the unfairness of life, the family mob finally departs. Then, right on schedule, the annual meltdown begins. Mother collapses into bitter tears of disappointment. Oh, the details vary year to year, but the devastation is forever the same. Her misery cuts through the house. I've been waiting all day for you to say something nice about all the trouble I've gone to. It's clearly time to go find some place to hide. She seems to want something she cannot name. In some way, Father has not been attentive enough. The children haven't been sufficiently well behaved or grateful. I'm not sure. Oh, there's nothing Daddy can do to comfort her. This man who can run a demanding business is no match for her sadness. She works so hard to make the day wonderful. Well, she does really believe in the magic of the holiday. That's part of the problem. Some kind of amazing love and connection is supposed to totally erase her, what is it, loneliness? At least on this one special day. But Christmas never seems to rise to the level she expects, and it is everybody's fault. Father has been way too busy with his work as usual, but he did knock off long enough to scour the town for presents. It wasn't exactly clear what I did wrong, but somehow I let her down. Maybe I hadn't been helpful or loving enough. Here is yet more proof of what a bad boy I am. Maybe if I think for a long time, I can figure out how to make Mommy happy. I go outside and get on my new tractor, pulling my little sister around on the small wagon. I start to wonder if we could just keep going, but there's no place to go, and I'm not allowed to leave the block. Finally, my playmate gets tired of the game and goes in. The late afternoon shadows begin to lengthen. As long as I buzz around on the tractor, I can ignore the noises coming from the house. Fortunately, There's an alley just waiting to be explored. Only 20 minutes remain before sunset when I'll have to go in, but for 20 minutes, I am the master of my fate. I pull my rig out into the quiet alley. For now, this piece of the world belongs to me.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Uh, wow. I don't know if you were watching my camera. There was so much there that I could identify with, and we can talk more about that again with the Q&A. So thank you for that, and everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, when we go to Q&A after our last performer, please feel free to put any questions or comments into the chat. So we're going to go to our final performer, who is a veteran of solo performance here. Jacqi Bowe has performed around a lot here, and you're going to be seeing an excerpt of her piece "Emotional Garage Sale," but she will be performing the entire piece on March 18th at the Whitefire Theater down in Southern California. A really wonderful venue for solo performance. So we're real excited for you that you're going to be doing that, Jacqi. So enough from me. I'm going to turn it over to our final performer, Jacqi Bowe, with excerpts from Emotional Garage Sale.
They say live every day as if it were your last. I would like to amend that a little bit. I say live each day as if it was your last day before a pandemic. You got to plan ahead. I flunked disaster preparedness. Yes, I did. I had the water, had the toilet paper. I forgot I am not Kimi Kardashian with a $4 million mansion and a hot tub, 6 bedrooms, 14 baths, and 2 wine cellars. Now, I know I don't even drink, but just knowing that they were there would give me such comfort right now. You know, otherwise you end up like me in a studio apartment in your kitchen. Now, I don't want to sound ungrateful because I'm not. I mean, I am very grateful. I'm thankful that I have a roof over my head. It's just the 4 walls that are making me crazy. And my kids, 96 and 84. Yep. My mom decided to move back home with her friend. I was an empty nester, and now I got a couple in there, and they say they're just friends, and I don't know what goes on in there. I'm in the kitchen, but just listening to them, it sounds like they have been married for 40 years. Goddamn son of a bitch. You watch your language. I don't care. You don't care about anybody. I'm retired. Well, maybe you should think about getting your own place. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Do you want a cookie? Yeah, I'll take a cookie. I don't know about you, but that sounds like makeup sex to me. So I'm in here and I'm trying to be creative, but I am not a homebody, and this just is not really my best creative space. I'm better like when I'm on the road and I'm doing my shows and I'm writing at a coffee house. It's just not my element. I'm getting a little resentful because growing up, I used to hear things like a woman's place is in the kitchen. And that is not true. Some of us don't do well in the kitchen. I knew that I was never going to be Martha Stewart, Julia Childs, maybe like the Muppet Chef. But I knew this because in 7th grade, I got so nervous on the first day of home economics, I spilled flour all over the floor. And I thought, you know what? I need to go into a profession where I can make a big mess, like government. But really, not all people are meant to be here. I mean, what if you took Martha Stewart and you banned her from her kitchen and said, no, due to the Starbucks stay here order, and you only give her a laptop and some how-to comedy books? Okay. She would have a Netflix special and giggle merch by the time they steamed her latte. But for the rest of us who are not superhuman, we need some work. And I'm trying to transcend. I thought, well, I'll sit in here and I'll meditate. But there's already somebody in here doing that all day. My refrigerator. And I know this is crazy, but it sounds judgmental and micromanaging like my college roommate at Dykstra Hall. Sounds like a concept. That sounds like some sort of prison. But so I'm sitting here and I'm competing with this other being, and I know she's over there judging me because I can hear her. Will you stop interrupting me? Oh, interrupting you. Well, how about you coming over here and opening my door every 5 minutes, peering in as if I have all the answers? Well, that's very disconcerting. Oh, disconcerting. Now we have the Rhodes Scholar of Icebox. You just could be much more productive. Oh, and now you're my life coach? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Not in the kitchen. You could be more organized. You spent 2 hours and 45 minutes last week looking for the mustard. Oh yeah, I know, but I just really wanted Dijon and it was way tucked in the back. Hey, you know what? I am gonna have to set some boundaries here. And I would if I had more room. You know, she's passive aggressive. And these mood swings. I mean, 1 minute she freezes my cauliflower and the next makes my milk go bad. You know, do you think I might need to be around people more? I'm sitting here having tension and conflict resolution with my refrigerator. I thought, well, you know what? I bet you I am not the only person that's going a little mad right now. So I went on Facebook and I thought maybe I could find a woman that's estranged from her crock pot, or a guy that's needs anger management resolution with his hot dog bun warmer. And what I didn't find was that, but what I did find was teletherapy, and it was covered by my insurance. So I thought, this is going to be great. You know what? I will get somebody on the other, like this, like a Zoom thing, and she can tell me, or he can tell me, you're okay, it's going to be fine. You're just like everybody else. We're all going through this. You are a delightful human being and you deserve better. Well, I just want you to know that it was a emotional, spiritual, and technological disaster. Okay, I want to take some of the responsibility. I guess I didn't really want to do it and I was kind of afraid, so I sabotaged the day and I ended up at 5 o'clock in a Starbucks parking lot. And I forgot that there was a time change, so it was dark. So I'm in my car with my laptop trying to get some light. I got my cell phone over here, overhead. I look like a floating head, like Max Headroom or something. Maybe I could open the door. Oh, sorry. Going through a crisis here. Oh, you too. So we get on, it's a disaster. I mean, we've got a split screen with an echo. And I thought, wow. I told her, I said, you know, this would be great if I had a split personality disorder. Frozen screen. No, frozen face. No sense of humor. So we got the technical advisor on with us. Simon, he was lovely. He was like, I understand how you feel with this technology. It's not that easy. I go through it myself. What's your client's name? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't know what my client did. What kind of a therapist blames their client? You know, I should have known. I could have gone to the website and they had all the pictures of the therapists up there. And there were some really nice looking people. There was Daphne, and she was like, I care about you. And Alexis, I am so excited that I'm going to help you with your life. And David, I'm confident and I can help you be too. But no, I picked Martha. So what did you do to get to this place in your life? I'm getting this vibe from her. It was like the time that I wanted to save money and I went to the Glendale Beauty College to get my hair cut. And I'm sitting there and I'm getting nervous because she doesn't seem to know what she's doing and she's lost. And so I started to make some conversation. Hey, so what got you into styling? My mother said, get a job, get off the couch, or get out. Well, it's nice to have a direction in life. You know, I'm just going to go get the teacher because I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. So I thought, I'm here with this therapist. By the end of the session, I may need to wait until my sanity grows back. What is left of it? So then she starts in on the questions. So, have you ever been in a psych ward? Yeah. I was performing. I was doing singing, dancing, and comedy and trying not to let the residents get agitated. Oh God, this is sounding like One Flew Into the Cuckoo's Nest, which would work because she looked like Nurse Ratched. Or she was a dead ringer for Kathy Bates in Misery. If you didn't see it, she kidnaps her patient and then she tortures them. So, what do you think brought on this feeling of hopelessness? Before I logged on with you? You know, I have to tell you, I was COVID-19 before the pandemic. I'm an entertainer. I have ups and downs, uncertainty. I know that I chose it. It's fine, but I'm used to it. And I had the other people to look up to, the stable ones, and say, if I work hard enough, I can be them someday. But now everybody's like me. Nobody deserves to live like me. Do you have a gun in the house? No. I mean, I know they have to ask these questions, but that's sort of off-putting. Have you had any thoughts of homicidal tendencies? Well, I thought about taking Midge the fridge out on the curb, but that's not really, that's more like refrigerator endangerment. So, I'm sorry it's taking me this long, but I never learned to type. Oh, and she's being judgmental to me. You know, I sacrificed my junior high 7th grade summer to learn to type. The least she can do is to learn to type. See, now I'm being kind of judgmental. I don't want to be like that. I want us to both take responsibility for this session. Well, I am going to diagnose you with depression. Do you prescribe Prozac? No, I'm just kidding. I would never take that anyway. So I tell her my life story from childhood, adolescence, college years, all the way up to how old I am now. And she yawns. What kind of therapist yawns? A bored therapist. Well, you know what? I realized after this session that I've looked at therapy from Zoom and couch, and still somehow it's therapy's bizarreness I recall. I really don't need therapy at all. I just need stage time. Hello. You know, I think that 50 minutes is way too long anyway. I think you should do it in sound bites during the day. You go out to the coffee house and the barista says, how are you doing? You say, well, do you like the short lie or the long truth? And then maybe you share something with them. They share something with you. It's a win-win. You both feel good. Nobody needs to know they're in the doctor's office. As you can see, I'm doing quite well with my diagnosis from Martha. And I'm doing really good right now because I unplugged Midge the fridge. I just want to say goodbye to 2020 with a little song. 6-foot rule, social distancing is cruel. Hey, back up, I'm not a fool. I used to be a hugger gal. Can't touch my nose, have to sneeze into my elbow. It's an allergy. Wipe down the basket at Trader Joe's. I used to be a hugger gal. If you should see me in aisle 9, even if you're a licensed monsieur. Oh yeah, Swedish. All right, they're between the shoulder blades. Oh, that's good. No, no, no. We gotta flatten the curve. Can't shake hands. What do we do? Hey, I saw that first. That's the last roll of toilet tissue. I used to be a hugger gal. Do, 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 do. La da 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 ba ba da 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 do 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 da 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 la da 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 da. Used to be a hugger, used to be a hugger. I'm gonna be a hugger gal. I'm just warning you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacqui.
Did you turn on now?
All right, I'm going to bring everyone back here. So welcome back, Jonathan and Jen and Jacqui. Thank you all for sharing that. I want to, um, watching all of you. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm gonna start with something that's gonna sound a little possibly off-putting, but I'm going somewhere with this. Is that with all three of you, there were these moments in your pieces where I was squirming, in sympathy with your characters. Okay, you all took us places. I feel where I think in various ways where I felt this trapped feeling with your characters. I mean, Jen, oh my God, like I said, anyone who's ever tried to break into performing knows exactly what you were talking about. And Jacqui, I love your line about, Bruce fine, it's the four walls that are, killing me. And then Jonathan, your observations about family and the blows, perhaps unintentional, often unintentional, that hit us. So I'm going to throw out a blanket question to the three of you, because you all presented these situations that were to me a lot about confinement, but for me as an audience member, there was something wonderfully freeing about being able to enter your world, to get the hell out of mine for a minute, to go into yours, which was wonderful. And so my question to you is, with you, all three of you taking your creative impulses to create these pieces and to perform them, what does your creativity mean to you here in the time of the pandemic, both to you, to potential audience? What has it meant to you? Jonathan, you're front and center on my screen right now, so I'm going
Okay.
to toss it to you first.
Yeah. Well, my day job is I'm a psychologist, so it's the season, and people are struggling with COVID, and they're struggling with holidays and their own expectations of things. So I thought if I write a story about all the anxieties, then anybody who has anxieties can say, "Oh yeah, at least I'm not alone."
Yeah, that's great. And I have a couple of follow-up questions about some of the details, but I'd like to. I'm going to toss the ball to Jen. Your creativity and what it means to you and for you, for your audience.
It's been hard to find during COVID, and it's so important. This has been such a breath of fresh air tonight doing this. I didn't know what to expect, because I haven't done this before, performed on Zoom like this, but I have to tell you that I needed to do this. I'm so happy to be here with you guys and just have this opportunity to perform, because it's really necessary. I feel better than I felt when we started. So, it's been a rough time for, as you know, as everybody is aware. So it was fun. It was good to be creative and to kind of fall into a character, like you said, to get the hell away from 2020. It was nice to go back and visit the simple 2004 when websites were hardly even established.
By the way, I really loved how you were talking to somebody, and was that your husband? That was a great touch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have kind of a detail-oriented follow-up for you with regards to this piece, but I wanted to give Jacqui a chance to weigh in on your creativity, what it means to you, what it means for relationship with audience here in time of COVID. You were very directly referring to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, such a great question, and I'm still processing it. Because my day job is performing for seniors. Okay, so I'm gonna start crying now. But so it's been really hard with them because they're locked in their rooms. So I've been doing some Zoom things. So it's basically me doing like an hour of Broadway show tunes and jokes. And I'm used to bringing them in and saying, "So where are you from? Is it anyone's birthday?" And I do that on Zoom, and I get silence. I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And so it's exhausting in that particular sense. But on the other hand, I think I get so inspired by other performers, and also because look at us, we're going with it, and we're adapting, and we're being creative, and we're persistent. it's like I feel like I'm not going to let anything stop me. You know, and it's taught me, because I tend to be kind of rigid in what I think I can do and what I can't do. I need this, I have to have this, and so now I think it's, in that aspect for me, it's good, because it's making me real, like I went to get my professional lights today, and then I couldn't set them up, so I've got this little thing from the living room. So it just makes you more reliant on yourself, and feel like, oh, you know what, I'm stronger than I thought. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's kind of what we're being forced into here, and the fact that you're giving this to an audience
Yeah, what a
is part of
gift.
the regular. Um, Jen, I want to ask you specifically. So, with this Monday night performance and what it seems to have meant for you, what made you? Is this piece new? What made you choose this piece, or that time? What that story? What brought that to you now?
It's funny, having seen these other two performances so absolutely like in the now, I realized that's kind of funny that mine is 2004. Actually, one of your performers from one of your other nights or something like that did a performance, and then she told me about it, and I wanted to get on here, and I had just workshopped this piece. I was producing a show out in San Leandro in 2018, and I had workshopped this once. And so this is the second iteration of it, sort of live, and it's grown already. So I just wanted to take something that I had already been working on and give it another go. You know, I had some ideas of how to play with it. Actually, Johnathan, the having somebody off screen was one of the iterations, just to kind of seem like, give it some context and some robustness. Yeah.
That's really neat. Now, Johnathan, you set up this really vivid time and place, this situation, these personalities here. But I had kind of a small thing because you mentioned that tractor, man, and I'm thinking, God, I remember those tractors. Now, I never had one,
Yeah.
and so I was curious if you would share a little bit about uh, the inspiration for the characters. And I was also interested in the geography, where the specific location of
Yeah,
this.
San Fernando Valley. So the bit about seeing some snow up on top of Mount Baldy, but we didn't have snow. There were three stories. There's a Christmas story where the kid wants a BB gun, the movie, and there's a Dylan Thomas, A Child's Christmas in Wales, and then ah oh, I'm stuck on the name now. Wrote a Christmas story set in the South, and these were children's experiences of oh he the Nell's friend. What's his name? Okay, I'm trying to get help off. Truman Capote. I got help. Okay. Anyway, I thought they were magical to see it all from a child's point of view, but I wanted to get some more trouble in there, so I managed to squeeze that in.
That's amazing because there's I immediately thought of Child's Christmas in Wales, but it's so far removed from it in its own way. But you captured that
Yeah,
flavor there.
they seemed almost too happy to me. I'm thinking, did children really have Christmas that were mine were always mixed? There were a lot of other good parts to it, but I thought somebody should tell the mixed story.
Yeah, yeah, because it's all there for sure. God knows, as the dad, I mean, I was
But that
relating to dad sometimes.
and that tractor was just a wonderment, and it was stood out and just glowed in the midst of this, and it stuck around the family. It ended up down being hand me down to cousins and things. The thing is still in somebody's garage somewhere.
So Jacqui, you're going to be doing this with the Whitefire in
Yes.
March, which is great. A friend of mine did a show with them earlier this year, and I saw it, and the production was wonderful, and they produce wonderful work, and I'm so excited for you to be part of that. So will that be an in theater performance, or will you be zooming from your location?
I will be.
And please plug it to our audience.
Yay! Yeah, you know, it's so interesting because I was scheduled for March of last year, and they had the whole. It starts in January, and it was like brilliant show after show after show. All, you know, a whole range of stuff, funny, very serious, just the whole gamut. And it got closer to my date, and of course March 13th is when everything shut down. So we postponed my show, thinking, well, this thing it's going to be a couple weeks. People will we'll get rid of this little thing we're having. So then it was like month after month of like prolonged. It's going to be in May. It's going to be in. So finally, I did it in July with no audience, and that was really good for me because it was 90 minutes of me laughing at my own jokes. But it looks really good, and then we're going to do it again in March, and I have a feeling I will be. I don't think that there will be a packed house yet. But you know what? I don't want to say anything because we never really know from day to day what's going to happen. So yeah, for you to join me, and you can tune in live at the time, and then you have a window too where you can, if you miss it, you can play it for a couple days later too.
Yeah. So I believe you have a website, and feel free to throw that in the chat, and we'll kind of include that in show notes. We will be this show will be available for replay. I mentioned to all you watching, please share it with your friends. It'll be on our YouTube channel by about lunchtime tomorrow. I'll have that edited and rendered. Yeah, that's exciting. My friend Catherine, when she did the White Fire, it was on their stage, and it was all socially distanced, but it was broadcast, and it was fun to see a theater show, although it was, the theater, as she told me, was empty. But yes, and we'll wish you and Midge a good show. So definitely stay in touch. Now, Jen, what are your plans for this piece? Do you have future plans? You've got a lot of projects. You have your book and your podcast. So what's next for you?
Great question. Great question. I'm finishing up school right now, looking for work. It's nice that you both have day jobs. I am without one, so still looking for that. And what I'd like to do is probably take this story and several others and build them into book number 2, actually, from where book 1 left off. But I really enjoy performing it too, so we'll see.
Yeah, well done, all three of you, for stepping up and adapting to this Zoom platform. It's been quite a pivot, I'll put it that way, for all of us, and well done to all three of you for doing it, and thank you for joining us, and please all stay in touch with us and let us know what you're up to. Thank you to our audience, and again, look for this on replay, and thank you all for sharing.
Thank you, and Marsh, David.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Really nice to meet you both. You too,
Yeah,
Dave.
likewise, Jim.
All of you.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.